How do I know when I'm ready to date?
How do I have healthy communication? How do I avoid bad relationships?
What are emotional boundaries?
How do I deal with tough siblings?
How do I prioritize God with my busy schedule?
Which, I know, okay. Some of you are dating, some of you are not dating, some of you are interested in dating, some of you are not interested in dating. Here is, let me set it up for a little bit and then we'll kind of go. But I'll set it up for you, okay? Is there a perfect time to date? I don't know. Is there anything in the Bible that talks about dating? Yes, let me show you the verse. It's not there, okay? There is no rubric for dating in the Bible. Do I know the perfect time? No. Do I know the perfect age? No. But here's what I do know, is I want to give you every tool and resource and story of wisdom that I can give you so that you can date well. Because my heart is this, that when you do relationships right, it's the most life-giving thing that you can do. God, marriage is a gift. Relationships are a gift from God. But I do know this as well. When you do relationships wrong, especially in the dating world, it can be one of the most painful, hurtful things that you ever do. So that's why we want to have a conversation. And so everyone get your phones out, okay? Behind us, okay, fuel910@gmail.com. Literally, you could ask any question that you want, okay? Literally any question you want when it comes to the topic of dating. We will try to get to them. Last night, there was a ton of questions. It was hard to get through all of them, but we want to know the questions that you have when it comes to dating. You hear something, you're like, ooh, I like that, or ooh, that doesn't make sense. Can you talk more about that? Can you expand on that? And then if you want to boldly raise your hand and ask a question, then you can boldly raise your hand and ask a question. But it's not just me, okay, that's talking about this. I have an amazing couple that is up here, and I'm going to let them introduce themselves. Who are you guys?
What's up, guys? My name is Caleb Linden.
I love you, Caleb.
And this is my wife.
Wait. What do you do here?
Oh, I'm a leader for NineTen.
Yay! What grade?
Ninth grade.
Ninth grade.
Freshman boys.
Freshman boys. What do you do for work?
I work in trucking insurance.
Oh, so cool.
Yeah.
Woo!
I'm Penny. I'm a leader for Amazing Never Perfect ninth graders, and I'm a second grade teacher.
Heyo. And you guys are married for how long?
4 years. 4
And,
years this March.
And how long were you guys dating for?
We were dating for 3.5 years before he proposed, and then we got married after 4 official years of being together.
Okay. All right. So, first question that they want to know, okay, was how did you know that in both cases, Caleb, that Kenny was the right girl for you today, and then Kenny, he was the right boy for you today? What were you like? Oh, this is it. This is a great person to date. This is a great person to get to know. Yeah.
Well, we started off as friends. We had been friends for the whole first semester, freshman year of college. And then I think our friendship started changing a little bit after first semester, and we started having a lot of one-on-one conversations and a lot of phone calls. And through that, I just really got to know her on a deeper level, and there was an attraction. And I also was like, wow, she's really easy to talk to. I think we agree on a lot of things. We see eye to eye on a lot of things. And so that's kind of when I felt ready.
Yeah, he felt like he was my guy best friend, but I had a huge crush on him. But I didn't want to ruin that. And so it really was we weren't really flirting at all. We were genuinely just really getting to know each other, very good friends. And I think for me, it was the first time that I felt like I could just be my 100% self. I didn't feel like I had to play this Christian girl role or this whatever, college, whatever. You know how sometimes that you feel pressured to be someone you're not. I did not feel that at all with Caleb. I felt like he just loved me and thought I was so cool and fun, and I felt really confident around him, and it was just it felt very easy in a way. So I was like, dang, this is great.
Okay, so one of the questions that speaks to this a little bit, but how did you push past that awkward, you're a friend, but I want to pursue you, and then not make it weird? Because that's tricky, right? You just said you didn't want to ruin the friendship, but how do you go about pursuing possibly a friend? Some of us, we have friends in here, but you're interested in more than being a friend.
I think one great way is to check with mutual friends that you have. That's what I did. I went to a mutual friend and I was like, is Kenny interested in me? And he was honest, and he was like, yeah, she is. And I was like, great, like, this is perfect. Now I have a little bit of green light in that sense.
Yeah, well, you should tell them why you went to the mutual friend.
Yeah, why did you go to the mutual?
Oh yeah,
friend?
because I thought I got friend zoned.
Oh.
So
And I thought I was flirting. I sent him a text one day, and I was like, I just have loved how like deep our friendships gotten, and you're such a good friend, and I just really love spending time with you. And I was trying to be like, I really like being around you, but I didn't do it very good. So be careful.
So I kind of thought I got friend zoned, but I was like, there's no way. Like we've been talking for so long. I was like, this can't be. So I checked the friends. Yeah.
You were legitimately like, oh man, maybe she just is really sincere and nice.
Yeah. I was like, dang, I didn't think someone would want to FaceTime me once a week and then just be my friend.
Man, that's literally like every signal in the book, dude. And you're just like, oh, well, good friends. All right. Wait, but okay, so, but what would you say to somebody who's like good friends, but one of them wants to pursue a relationship? What would you tell them? Like, what would you, like advice would you give them?
Keep getting to know them and start conversations and vibe it out. I personally loved how I felt like I had like this weird thing that I really wanted to be pursued by a guy, so I would never text first. And I know that's different depending on who you are. I think it's okay too for girls to text first. It just depends on who you are as a person. But for me personally, I was like, I want to be pursued by a man. And so I never texted first. And I always waited for Caleb, and it was great. So if you're interested, text first. Or call or whatever. Hang out, you know.
But it's not wrong if you're the girl who reaches out. It's just
I don't
for
think
you
so.
personally.
I think it depends on who you are personally. If you feel really comfortable with that, then please go for it. But if it's very important for you to feel pursued as a girl, then let yourself be pursued.
Yeah. I think one of the biggest encouragement I could give you guys is like, there's nothing more awkward in a relationship when you don't talk about what the situation of the relationship is. Like when you guys aren't, when one of you likes one another, like here's my impression, and I'll just say this, and maybe this is a hot take, but like guys and girls shouldn't be best friends because ultimately one person ends up liking the other person. And yeah, exactly, status quo right there, okay? And so it's like, if one of you does want to pursue that relationship, it's just be honest and open so that the awkwardness is just like, you can just cut through it. And just because I think also, this is another hot take, is I think you could pursue a friendship and one of you like the other person in a way that honors and respects them, that even if they don't like you, you guys can still be friends. Because you've done it in a way that's so honoring, that's so respectful, that like at the end of it, it's like, cool, you like me. And I don't feel the same way, and let's just continue to go about being friends. Is it going to be a little weird and uncomfortable for a couple weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks? Yeah, maybe, but I think there's a way to do it in a healthy way that you could for sure maintain a friendship with them. But I think communication has to be there. Communication has to be there. So, okay, if you were, like, what were some red flags that you think a Christian woman or a Christian guy should... Yeah, what are some red flags that you would say you got to pay attention to?
If you feel like you have to kind of zhuzh up the truth about your relationship.
Zhuzh up?
Yeah, I don't know what the word zhuzh. I do not know what the word is, but like if you feel like, you know, you need to
Justify?
No, like if you're telling stories to your friends about who you're dating and you kind of feel like one, you're leaving out things or you're making it sound better than it is. Then pay attention to that, because that is a red flag. You should be able to say the genuine truth of what's going on in your relationship without feeling any weird shame or guilt or like awkwardness about it. You shouldn't feel like you have to prove to your friends and family that this person is worthy of dating you. You should just be able to say it how it is.
That's good. Zhuzhing.
Zhuzh, you know?
Yeah, zhuzhing.
Don't do the zhuzhing.
And a red flag that a young man would hopefully know is what?
Probably that she is not willing to pursue the same boundaries that maybe you have. And also her relationship with her friends. What are her friends like? Are they like, is this like a good group of friends? Are they encouraging each other? Are they building each other up? Like, I think watching someone with their friend group can be really telling.
Yeah. Do you feel like when it comes to the friend aspect, okay, like, I think how you speak volumes to the people they surround yourself. How do you get like insight of like how they treat, like, because you mentioned this last night, like family, because like you said that was like a high value for both of you in your relationship with how they interact with the family. Can you expand on that a little bit?
Yeah, like watching how Kenny treats her sister, her mother, and her father, like that can be really telling to how you're going to be treated, and vice versa.
And if you're obviously not always with your person that you're pursuing when they're with their family, I think before, because we didn't meet families for a while, but it was the way that Caleb talked about his mom and his siblings that I really liked and paid attention to. And I felt like I was getting to know his mom and his dad and his siblings because he would talk about them so often, which showed me that he he had a good relationship with them and he cared for them. And I know that can be taken with a grain of salt because family situations can be really, really hard too. But I think it's more so paying attention to how the person that you like talks about the people that they love.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. Okay, if you were dating, what was like the best characteristic of, like, what are good characteristics of a good boyfriend and a good girlfriend? And then what are bad characteristics of a bad boyfriend and a bad girlfriend?
I think a good boyfriend will pursue.
Okay, what do you mean by that? 10 years ago when I was in college, that was the word of dating.
Yeah.
Pursue. You gotta pursue her, okay? You gotta go after her. It's like, what the heck does that mean?
That means like remembering the small things, like I literally had notes about like favorite color, like.
Because you couldn't remember?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
Well, so I forced myself to remember.
Okay, I've done it too. It's hard to remember things like that.
Remembering dates.
It's so cute.
That's you're a better husband than me. That's fine. That's what I'm figuring out.
Yes, like the little things really can pay dividends, and getting flowers for certain occasions, and planning dates.
Also, just like initiate conversation and initiate hanging out.
Oh, sorry. Initiate hanging out. But I forgot the question, honestly.
Like, what are characteristics of a good boyfriend and a good girlfriend?
I feel like, just how you are being treated. Also, something that I paid attention to with Caleb when we were when we were just friends and we were talking, and I was figuring out if I did like him, was that, or I guess this was more when we knew we liked each other. But he gave me more encouragement and compliments about who I was as a person, more than my looks, which he still complimented how I look, but he gave way more value to who I am as a person, and that meant the world to me, because at the end of the day, that matters a lot, So that was just, he always was speaking life into me, I feel like, and encouraging me, and also encouraging me to just be a better person.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely someone who's going to build you up.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's super valuable. And on the flip side, like, what do you think is like a bad characteristic? Things that you'd be like, oh man, I don't know if I would want to ever see a guy date a girl who has this, or I'd never want to see, a girl date a guy who's like this. Like, what would you say are those characteristics? Or what would you break it up with, like, if she had that, or if he had that?
I know.
Careful.
Did you guys ever break up?
Yeah.
Oh, you did?
No, oh, yeah, we did. Hey, it was really good.
It was really good for you?
Yeah, we
Wow.
needed it. It was
Also, really weirdly, I don't know if this is significant, but we broke up the Thursday after Lent started, and then we literally got back together on Easter. Super unintentional, we realized that.
He has risen!
So I guess we gave each other up for Lent. But no, we needed it. We kind of got to a place in our relationship where we
We're
both
holding things back from each other.
We
We're
both
being
came
honest.
from other relationships that were not good at all. So then when we were dating,
What was bad about them?
Couldn't be my full self.
Okay, wait, hold on.
Yeah,
I like
honestly.
this, okay? Couldn't be your full self. What do you mean by that?
Like it was just like more, the relationship was kind of like face value. There wasn't a lot of like
You guys also were different religions, which was hard.
Yes.
Oh yeah, let's go. Come on. Let me hear about
Giving
more
you
about
guys
this.
all of it.
Yeah, so I dated a Mormon in high school.
Okay.
Yeah.
The crowd just started listening.
So like the relationship was like face value because we couldn't get into spiritual conversations because there was a completely different spiritual outlook on her end.
Yeah.
So every time a spiritual conversation would come up, it was like we were both trying to like evangelize each other, and it was just like brick wall.
Yeah. And like to maybe like clarify something is like when it comes to like the Mormon faith, it's like we're not trying to belittle the Mormon faith. I think one of the things that maybe Caleb is speaking to is like the different values and the different ways about pursuing God are so vastly different that it does conflict a lot when it comes to how you know God and how you meet God. And so I think that's one of the things that we're not belittling it, we're not trying to make fun of it, but I think that when you know someone who's a Mormon, and if you're in a relationship with someone who's a Mormon, it becomes pretty apparent really fast of how those can conflict pretty bad. So I think I just wanted to make that clear, but also like one of those things is who Jesus is. Like, who is Jesus in that person's life? In the Mormon faith, like, that is something that you would have to ask them. I had friends that dated Mormons in high school and also in college, and that was a question that we had to ask themselves a lot. Like, hey, who is Jesus in your faith? Who is Jesus in your belief system? And that was quickly a telling sign of how they truly thought of what Jesus did for them, the relationship they had with Jesus. And some of you asked this question, but the question came in here was, hey, can a Christian date a Catholic? What's the relationship with Jesus? Do I believe that someone who's a Catholic can date someone who's a Christian? 100%. Because so many of the traditions of the Catholic faith, yes, they point back to who Jesus is. They point back to what Jesus has done for them. And I think that's an important question. Like, I know some of us have grown up in a Catholic faith, and it is a lot different than what Christianity looks like. But I don't think just because they're Catholic doesn't mean that you can't date them. I just would go back to the, question of, well, who is Jesus in their life? Yeah.
I would say to that too, like, I think a lot of the complexities within dating someone of a different religion would really arise in marriage. Like, that is where you will find, like, problems arising.
What do you mean?
Like, what church do you go to on Sundays?
Yeah.
Are you baptizing your infants? Like,
yeah,
that's down the road. But, you should be considering that if you're dating someone of a different religion. It's like, where is this going?
Yeah.
Because if you don't know, you should be aware.
Yeah. Okay, for a girl, what does that look like? I can't be myself. Like, what does that look like? How do you, someone who like feels that pressure, like, why can't I be myself around this person? What would you, words of advice to them?
Oh, get out of the relationship. Or maybe first talk to them about how that makes you feel, but also in my previous relationship to Caleb, I was like constantly told the things that I wasn't doing enough, or I wasn't doing well, or like I would just, like, I love to doodle when I listen because I have attention problems, and I would get like ridiculed for stuff like that. Like, it was just every single thing it was not a healthy relationship at all. But I didn't know that, so that's why I say like try to get out. But I feel like what was telling and what I wish someone told me when I was in that relationship was I genuinely was leaving details out to my friends. I was trying to make him sound better than he is. He had a great reputation too. So I feel like if someone were to tell me like, hey, are you telling like the full truth about your relationship? I would be like, no. And then hopefully I would have, gotten out of it sooner than I did. But that was what Caleb and I were saying why we broke up, was because we didn't fight ever. And, like, no arguments, no, like, it was just agreeing with each other on everything. And
that's a red flag.
Yes.
Avoiding conflict.
It is a red flag. And that's why we broke up.
Yeah.
Because we were not able to, like, we genuinely loved each other so much, and it was so fun.
So we were nervous to create a divide.
We were so nervous to, like, argue and fight, I guess. Yeah. And then it kind of just, it really backfired, and then we broke up, and then we like really worked through that, and it was really necessary.
When you're not able to be honest about things, it like builds up, and it becomes something that it didn't need to be in the first place.
Yeah. So it was good for us though. Once we got back together, we like I don't know. I feel like
Yeah.
our whole relationship changed from that day forward, and it was very healthy.
Yeah. Okay. One of like the weirdest nuances of relationships is like the breakup, right? Like, I feel like that's like right the pinnacle of every romantic relationship of like, what does the breakup look like? How do you do the breakup? And I feel like that's a question too. It's like, how do I break up with my boyfriend? How do I break up with my girlfriend? Like, you know, sounds like both of you were in relationships before. It's like, how do you give someone that advice of how do you break up? Like, what does that look like for them?
Talk about it so it's not a surprise. Make sure, like, if you're having doubts or you're having issues, you talk about it first with that person.
Yeah, be honest, and I think if they can't respect that honesty, it can be telling. And yeah, but you can't really, sometimes there's some things about a person you just can't change.
Yeah.
And so,
What do you mean by that?
like personality, you can't really change someone's underlying personality, I would say.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's some things
Like in my situation, my ex who just constantly was telling me why I was not good enough or whatever, like that was I would cry and express that made me really sad, and it never changed, you know?
Yeah. The reason why I ask that is because, like, I think, I'm not trying to, it's weird, maybe this is, I think there's a tendency for girls to get in a relationship thinking they can change a man. Like, there's like this tendency of like, I'll mature him, like I'll make him grow up a little bit, like he's not gonna ask his mom to do everything for his whole life. And while I think that there's a great aspect of girls who are more mature and like it is easier for a girl to help a boy grow up, I'm a product of that, okay? Even though I'm 4 years older than her, she's like, you gotta grow up, come on, let's go. I'm like, okay. And there's a lot of my, but here's the thing, is there's a huge aspect of relationships where like girls, you can't change a guy because you're marrying that individual, you're marrying that guy. And our calling as guys and as girls is you are pursuing a relationship with that individual, so you're asking God to mold, to change, and to continue for you to be a student of that person's heart and that person's mind. And so if you don't like the way he does this, or if you don't like the way she does this, or if you don't like she likes this, if you don't like that he enjoys this, it's like, then I think there might be some sort of like compatibility thing where you're just like, you got to kind of get over it.
Yeah.
Like, you got to like accept it or you got to break up with it. Because like at the end of the day, like I think so many relationships fail is because I thought I could change them. I thought I could work on this. I thought I could eventually have them overcome that. And the reality is that I don't think don't get in a marriage or don't get in a relationship thinking you could change something. Like, that's just not how it works all the time. Like, that's just not always how it's going to play out.
You're not going to be very successful if you're trying to change that.
I feel like as a guy, I feel like when you start dating someone, it almost like affirms the person you are at that point in time. It's like, oh, this person likes me for who I am right now. So then you don't think you need to change. You know, you're like affirmed in your...
Yeah. You know, like obviously there's like healthy tendencies. Like I needed to stop playing video games for 5 hours on Friday night, for sure. I should probably have hung out with my wife. But like who I was as an individual, it's like, oh, you want to change that? It's like, but I like me. Like I thought you liked who I was. Like I thought that's what you enjoyed most about spending time with me. If you're constantly trying to change that, I think, maybe that's the person that you shouldn't be dating.
And you can always seek, like, your leaders are great people to talk to about stuff like this. Any kind of, like, mentor or someone who is married is a great person to talk to when you're feeling a little stuck in something like that.
Oh, that was another part of our breakup, is I sought counsel from unmarried Christian men. So that was a big mistake, I think, on my part.
Wait, hold on. You went to a guy who wasn't dating or not married, and you said, hey, should I break up with my girlfriend?
Yeah.
And also it was good. We needed the breakup. We did. We needed to like hit that rock bottom before we could truly like rise and be well together. But this guy like also had no idea. He didn't know me at all.
This is the best dating advice I've ever heard in my entire life.
Yeah, please like seek out someone that's married. I think that's honestly a good idea, or someone who's been dating for a bit. Like that's
mean,
older,
that just cracks
not
up.
in high school.
That'd just be like me going to like one of the NineTen students, like, dude, I need help in my marriage. Can you help me out for a second? I'm really lost. Like, I don't really know how to do this. That'd be hilarious. Okay, here's something that I would say, okay? If you're in a relationship right now, or if you've been in a relationship, okay, here's like a take that I would, if you want to know the health of your relationship right now, if you're going to break up with that person, I know this sounds crazy, if you're going to break up with this person, they should know that you're going to break up with them.
Yeah.
Because that means that you're communicating so clearly about where you are and what you're doing that it's not going to be a surprise of like, what do you mean you don't like my friends? Like, what do you mean you don't like that I gossip all the time? What do you mean that I always try to push your boundaries? Like, it shouldn't be a surprise.
You should give them the chance to work on whatever is not going well. And also, Caleb and I definitely knew a breakup was coming.
Yeah, totally.
We did.
Yeah, and I think you should, because it makes it way more messy, way more complicated. I think guys, like, sometimes we don't honor the girl for who she is and respect her enough to give her that opportunity. Girls, I don't think you allowed a guy to know because we're dumb and we're stupid and it's really hard for us to pick on my cues when, you know, you're flirting with us but we don't know you're flirting with us. Like, it's unfair that, like, you just assume that we know everything, you know? It's like, I think those are really two valuable things that, like, we could grow from, is if we just communicated. So, okay, moving on a little bit. This is a good one, okay? How do you know if you just want to be friends with someone and if you want to date them?
Whoa. How do you know if you want to be friends with someone or
Yeah.
date them?
It's like your expertise of the dating friend / marriage.
I would say continue being their friend and continue hanging out with them and don't flirt yet, I guess. And just see, do you really like this person? Is this someone that you
Group
like?
settings.
Yeah, is this someone that you are gonna have a crush on? If you're like, I don't know if I have a crush on them, then don't make any rash decision to like flirt with them and pursue them. But keep hanging out with them to get to know them more.
Okay, this is a hot take, and maybe you could also pick up on this a little bit too. But like, if you know that you should be friends with them, it's like, do they play games with you? And what I mean by that is, like, I think it's too often, like, you have one person on the side of the conversation, it's like, I just want to be friends with you, but then they text you, and only you, and they ask you a pretty intimate question, and you're like, she likes me.
Yep.
For sure, I'm in. But then you, like, suss it out, and it's like, no, I don't really like you. It's like, then why are you always asking me this question, or why are you always texting me? Why are you always snapping me? It's like, if you don't know, like, this person to, like, if you should be a friend or not, like, are they playing games with you? Because if they're playing games with you, like, in my opinion, like, I don't think that's someone worth dating. Because they're not really sure where you're at. They probably just like the attention that you give them.
Yeah.
They probably don't like you. They probably just like the attention. And then they're probably seeking for something that is going to give them the validation, or they like that, you know, someone or individual that they need or desire, and they're just waiting for that opportunity. So I think that's, like, where you get tricky with, like, do I date them, do I not date them?
Never string someone along.
What do you mean by that?
Like if someone's like texting you, trying to kind of flirt, don't go along with it.
Just be mindful when you're talking to the other gender often.
Yes, yeah.
Because like Hayden said earlier, it's so rare that you can have a best guy friend or a best girlfriend with one of you not liking the other one. I feel like that's very rare. Also, when you eventually get married, it would be very hot take, very weird if like I had a best guy friend right now. I feel like that would be super weird. He's my best guy friend. You know?
Yeah.
So
You didn't have a maid of honor, but you had a
like a
best friend of honor?
a man of honor.
Man of honor.
No, I didn't have a man of honor. So just be careful with that. You never want to lead someone on, and yeah, just be careful. Just be
Okay.
mindful, maybe.
I like this question because it's super honest, but how do you know you want to date someone but you're really awkward? Like I love I like the vulnerability of that question. Like, I like the openness of it. Yeah, what would you say to them?
Just be yourself, and the person that is going to lift you up and encourage you and be good for you is going to like your awkward, because I feel like Caleb and I had a lot of awkward encounters. Like, I don't know, it's so awkward when you're first starting to date someone, and if you are awkward, then it's even more awkward. And so you just need to be yourself. And if you're struggling with the courage to talk to someone that you like, then ask the Lord to be your strength and rely on God for that. But I think, like, be yourself. You will absolutely find someone else who might also be awkward that really likes you awkward.
When I think of awkward, I think of like shy, and
Yeah.
I think a good way to go about seeking a relationship with someone as someone who's shy would be like try to put yourselves in different aspects of their life, like maybe try to get to know their friends better,
Yeah.
like try to get involved with their friend group, and like
Put yourself out there.
yeah, put yourself out there, like kind of get yourself in front of them in a way, like so they kind of get to know you before you want to like make a move, I guess.
Yeah. I think there's two things. Number one is your awkwardness is worthy of being pursued.
Mm-hmm.
Like, your awkwardness is like worthy of it being accepted in a relationship. If that is who you are and that is how you're designed and that is how you're wired, number one, like, they should appreciate that and love about you. So, like, don't change your awkwardness simply because you want to have a boyfriend or a girlfriend. Like, no, that is who you are. They are going to learn to love that. They're going to learn to embrace that and enjoy that. And that is something that, like, I don't think you should try to change in order to date someone. The second thing is this, okay? If your awkwardness is because you don't know how to talk to a boy or a girl, don't DM them, don't snap them, talk in person.
Yes.
We live in a world in a day and age that one of the things that we're not doing as well is we're not communicating. And one of the reasons why is because it's so easy and accessible to do that over text and to do that over FaceTime or whatever it is. Pursue relationship one-on-one, individual, in person, because that is ultimately, I think, going to demystify the awkwardness that relationships have right now. Like, I think so many of it is awkward and weird is because, like, we don't do this a whole lot.
Yeah.
We don't talk a lot. And I think that we would get so much better with relationships moving forward if we could actually have a conversation in person. I think that would be...
There's less like miscommunication with tone
Yeah, totally.
And like facial reactions when you're like talking in person or even like FaceTiming.
Yeah, no, totally. Like, I just remember one time, my wife, we were not dating. We were not dating. We're in the friend zone, kind of at this time. But I didn't want to be in the friend zone. And it was pretty clear I didn't want to. She asked me, like, hey, what are you doing tonight? But it was a text. And if you get a text, hey, what are you doing tonight? What's your first thing, guys?
She wants you.
And that's what I thought, okay?
Was it a YWD or?
Okay, yeah. What is the spelling of the Y? Like, where's the, is it a period at the end? Is it no question mark? Like, thank you, okay? She wants me, for sure. I texted back saying, hey, I could be there in 15 minutes. And she's like, wait, what? I just was wondering what you're doing tonight. Okay? If you talk in person and you don't always text and you don't always only do DMs, you're not saying, oh, she wants me. She's generally just asking me, what am I doing tonight? And you don't have mass confusion. Classic example of why communication in person is super valuable. So, all right. If someone were in this room, they're like, how do you, like, what would you tell them if they asked the question, hey, how do I know if I'm ready to date? What would you say? Okay, this is the probably final question. What would you tell them, like, hey, you know if you're ready to date? Blank.
I think your first priority is really like, I forget the word, I'm like blanking, but really
Triangle.
like the triangle. You can talk about the triangle. That's not what I'm trying to say. Really like pour into your relationship with God, and you're not ready if you are trying to fill a void, if that makes sense. I think you should be pouring into your relationship with the Lord, and that should be your first priority. And I think you know you're ready if you're really, really making sure that this is a person that has qualities that you want to date instead of just going for the first person that bats an eye at you.
Yeah.
Like, I think you need to take, I'm saying, like, you know you're ready when you're like, okay, I don't need a boyfriend tomorrow. Like, I want a really good quality boyfriend or girlfriend in the future, and you really, really think it out, think it through, and pray about it instead of just being like, oh, I like him, or I like her, she likes me, like, I'm gonna date her. I think you just, like, take your time.
You should never be seeking a relationship to feel validated or to seek fulfillment. You should already have those things in Christ before you enter a relationship.
Yeah, that's good. That's super good. Hey, and the beauty about like these two people is, and the reason why like we're inviting people that like are part of NineTen is because they're here, and like you can ask them, and you get to talk to them, and you get to go up to them, and you get to continue to pick their brain about dating, about relationships, about marriage, about all these things, and that's why we have people like Kenny and Kayla. That's why we have Hudson and Karis. That's why we have Brennan and Maddie. Like, we want to continue to be, like every leader, like we want to continue to be I think just like someone who can give you as much wisdom as possible. Because like I said, relationships can be one of the most beneficial, life-giving thing. Like, my wife is one of the biggest blessings I've ever had in my entire life. But there's also another side of it where I think relationships in the past have been one of the most harmful things in my entire life. And so that's why it's so important for us to have these conversations. That's why I love your honesty, your vulnerability of you asking these questions. But don't let the conversation just stop here. So I'm going to pray for us. Thank you, Caleb, Kenny. Appreciate you coming and bringing it out. All right, God, we thank you so much. God, we just pray that just all the relationships that are in this room, God, if